see when I go over. All right. We are here. We are here. Okay. Let's make sure we're all connected. We are here. We are here. Let me put this here. Okay, so if we have anything playing in the back, like our live stream, whatever, let's just put it down. Okay, so if we have anything playing in the back, like our live stream, whatever.
Can you hear those children?
Okay, so no, I can't hear.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an echo on something.
I can't hear the children.
No, I don't hear. I hear something.
I can't hear the children.
Can you hear me?
I'm
There's
just trying
something
to
going on.
Yeah, I can hear it too. Yeah.
There's a sound going on.
Okay, wait. I see it. It was me. Sorry.
Okay. With yourself.
I was like, what is playing? Something's playing in the background. Okay, it was me. Pardona. Okay. Vale.
Greetings.
All right, everybody. Okay.
Greetings.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. And even if you're watching this after the live stream, welcome. Greetings in the future. Yeah, in the future. All right, so this conversation, we're speaking with the sage, is going to be about something very impactful, something that we all go through, even if we know it or not. And before we get to that title, I'm sure you guys can see it in the title down below. We're gonna, introduce the guests here, speaking with the sage guests. So first and foremost, HPS Empress Yamaya Faye is in the building. The sage, the high priestess, she in the chat.
Greetings, beloved. Greetings.
And then my lovely sister, Pocahontas Asè. I'm so pleased that she's here as well and continuing to be in this collective consciousness with us. And if you haven't seen our other lives that we've done together, please do check them out. And they most definitely will be linked down below. And myself, the Heiress, okay? Jauqline, Faye-Yemajier, one of the many names, JQ, all of that. But yes, so we're all here and we are going to discuss spiritual deaths and rebirths, spiritual awakenings, energy shifts, physical deaths, and ascension. So we're going to really dive into this and, have some questions and maybe get some, definitely get some insight from the, sage here. Channel. Obviously all of us are channeling, but most definitely get all of all of our different opinions and stuff like this, because we're all. It's so interesting because we're so much in unison that I have to think, yeah, we are in like different age brackets type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's really nice to see that as well. Okay, so first and foremost, where should we begin? Begin at spiritual awakenings, spiritual deaths, rebirths. Where should we begin?
First, I would like to go ahead and open it up properly as, on the spiritual side, because you did a wonderful job with introducing us and getting those that may not know us familiar with all three of us. I'm going to go ahead and ask everyone, if you haven't already, do clear the atmosphere around you, your sacred space. Take time to focus on your breath and your breathing. My daughter Inez is sitting in that greenery, which is absolutely beautiful. So ground yourself in nature. She is representing that full-heartedly, and being in that chakra is absolutely beautiful. Being a Piscean, watering that nature, bringing that forth, as well as my daughter, my lovely Leo, bringing forth that fire. So she is representing that fire nature, which is something that we all could connect with. So in that, or I should say in regards to both of those things, because we need the fire and the water, we need earth, and we need to be able to focus on our breath. I'm going to open with the bell. So most of you guys would know that I'm the bell, honey. We're going to ring the bell, open up the spiritual realms, the portal ways, as far as the north is from the south and the east is from the west. May we operate in the fullness, divine source working in us, through us, around us, to us, and by us. All right, so I say Ashe in regards to that. Yeah, we open up the way, definitely open up the way. And we did sage. I sage, I'm kind of smoked out already. Definitely ready for this conversation. So this is something that I will say was aligned as it came forth during a very purposeful time, as well as a opening, continuous opening, ascension of my twin boy, Jauqline's brother, and of course Poca's ascended brother. And I do recall Poca actually giving a call to us, okay, via way of course, texting, but also in the spirit realm, because it was definitely something that was going on our end as well. And I will turn it over to you, Miss Inez. I call her Inez Beloved. When you get to know her, you can maybe call her that as well.
Exactly, don't trip.
I'm mama, so I'm going to
level status.
All right, Beloved, so tell us.
Yes.
Tell the
Firstly, I want to actually thank both of you, Empress Yamaya Faye and my sister Jauqline JQ, for having me again. I most definitely knew that Empress Yamaya Faye would know exactly where to navigate or to give her wisdom on this topic, because I personally have experienced some physical deaths recently through other people, and I reached out to both of them, and I was like, we have to talk about this because I need guidance myself.
Yeah.
Because I just needed to know, like, what does this mean, because I've just experienced my friend, she lost her 6-year-old son, and I was there to witness it. And I also spoke to her and let her know, like, that Empress, you have some answers and some wisdom, because you've been through similar things, as you just said. about your son as well. So I would like to start off asking you about your personal experience on spiritually and physically losing someone so close to you. How did you process that physically, spiritually, and just to share some of your experience with us about that?
Okay. Yeah, as you made mention, spiritual death, which is actually a physical death. Most of us know that to be more of a physical death. I would say there was multiple layers, and we won't be able to get into all of that in this particular time. But there was multiple layers of the process of that, because everyone deals with it differently. For myself, I had what most may have witnessed or gone through themselves. It was an initial shock, but yet, because I was already doing my spiritual work, there were signs that I didn't know were signs that something was going to happen. You know, let's say I entered and understood that my children, and I say both of them, were ill. And I thought, okay, well, this is the first time seeing that I was, I raised them for, let's just say, 3.5 years, and they never got sick. So for them to be away from me and all of a sudden they got sick, I was like, what? Wait a minute, what? It didn't make sense to me. Like, y'all sick? Okay. Let me just, let it pass, but then at the same time cover, and later to hear that Jeremiah, Anubis, basically he was more ill. However, they both were fine. And then I got a call, and this call, I got to speak to Jeremiah. And Jeremiah was happy. He was enthusiastic. He was just like, Mom, he was excited. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, baby, yeah. He was so happy. He was so happy. And for me, that's a balancing of both. It felt a little strange because I was told that he was ill, but then he was so in a rejoiceful state that it was kind of like, okay, are you sure? It felt weird. It felt displaced because there was something happening that was out of my realm of consciousness, but also had a knowing, like, this is a solid thing. And that's one of those things that is, you can only describe it based on you going through it. And once someone has gone through it, they'll be able to garner certain things, not having the exact same details of how it looked, but the feeling of that process. And then later to find that he had made his transition. That was a shock. Because how could somebody be so enthusiastic and happy, and then the next moment the person has ascended, they've moved, they've left that particular physical body. And with that gave me 2 shifts that allowed me to split the world, you know what I mean? From the physical part into the spiritual part. And of course, I went through a physical action with the crying, with the just asking, looking up and going, what has taken place here? How, why, would be the other thing. But I went through a whole spiritual transformation then, because just as well as it was beautiful outside, in that moment's notice, it literally turned into hail. The sky went black. It went dark. Though I was on the water and the waves were crashing. Like totally went through a whole transformation. Let's put it that way. Like there was so much going on in the physical as well as the spiritual realm for me because of where I had already allowed myself to go. So people are going to deal with a physical death in different ways based on their experience of what they've allowed themselves to deal with in their own walk. Like if you're close in the spirit, you're going to deal with things differently. You know what I mean? You're going to have a different experience. If you're not so close or operating within your own aspects of your spiritual walk, then you're going to deal with it basically on the flesh side. I went through both sides of it, the flesh as well as the spirit, to see that transition. And then once I came to, after pounding my hands on a marble table and going, how could you? And I was calling out externally to source, to God, to, those that call upon the name that are higher than self. I realized, and I had a settling within myself, that how could you, why would you take that which I have already given on? And as soon as I said I gave on to something greater than me, I was quickened in the spirit. I was quickened. And that's the thing that most people really don't want to let go of, because we're so used to holding on to somebody in the flesh. And as soon as I was quickened, there was a settling peace that came over me that said, to self, higher self, saying, didn't you say you gave over? Just because they came from you, he came from you. He doesn't necessarily belong to you. He has to go back to which he had came. And that was a thing that it still was a walk. You still had to go through it. It's not like I didn't suffer or have a form of depression, that sort of thing, but there was a quickening. There was a quickening. And literally, the sun came out. The sun came out. The water stopped. And then I had to deal with other people dealing with the loss or the ascension of my son. Because everyone takes ownership of people that they love. That was the biggest thing for me. That, in a nutshell, that was the biggest thing for me. Being able to be attached but detached from something that you actually, a being you actually helped bring into the world. It's a heavy one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I remember speaking to you, Polka, you mentioning your friend and her dealing with the passing, but you said she was in a peaceful state regarding things, if I remember correctly, like in a way, like when you were saying it to me, I was just like, it's like she already accepted it in a way. What would you say your feeling was about that and seeing that, witnessing that?
I witnessed her accept it because, like Empress Yamaya said, how her son was still joyful and still had all this enthusiasm. Her son was just like that. He was still touching people. He was excited. He did not let the cancer take away his joy. Like, he still had a lot of joy, and I think that gave her comfort and peace inside of herself. But she also had her moment of flesh when she did have to weep for him, because you are losing someone that you brought into the world. So yeah, it's gonna hurt, but at the same time, there was a peace there. And as we're speaking about these children, there's ice cream trucks going by.
Yes.
So
yes.
There's children in the background.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, she did. She had a sense of peace, and also he brought joy to everyone. So I think he allowed everyone to have some kind of peace. just based off of how he handled it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
also I wanted to I was wanted to ask
please, Amor.
another question, but go right
Yeah.
ahead.
No. Please, Amor. Continue what you were gonna say, please.
Okay, yes. My question, Empress, is when you separate the spirit from the flesh, you know, like you said, everyone has a different journey. And some people, they can't see that spiritual aspect of it. They are stuck in that flesh and in the just in the woe of it all, and they can't see the transition as something powerful, and they get stuck. So my question is like, what do you think the difference is, or what advice do you have for people that are stuck in the flesh and they can't see this from a spiritual aspect, the transition of a loved one,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what
Mm-hmm.
age they are, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, because that's the whole mouthful. Real talk. That's a mouthful. Um, okay. Even if, because my mother has made the transition as well, right? She just recently
Hmm.
made the transition. I know several different people's mothers just made the transition, or loved ones just made the transition. Okay. Um, but we need to realize everybody goes through it in their own way. Everybody's going to
Hmm.
grieve in their own way. And there's some people, it will seem like nothing's bothering them. And then eventually they burst. You know what I mean? Other people will
Hmm.
bawl out and like they're going to lose everything or lose their mind.
Hmm.
It's really a personal experience. I'll say that first and foremost. The part of us that we have to realize, we need to allow the person who's made the transition, that this is the biggest part right here. We have to
Hmm.
allow the person who has made the transition liberty. We have to release
Yes.
them. We have, okay, this is the biggest thing that is hard for us to do. And I'm saying us collectively as
Hmm.
individual humans, okay, in this flesh, because
Hmm.
we like to touch things, we taste, we hear, we feel, this sort of thing. We have to allow the person who has made the transition, regardless of how they went, we have to allow them to have the liberation to be free. What we don't realize
Hmm.
is us holding on to them, harvesting them, holds their energy down where you don't allow them to be
Hmm.
free.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We can love those that have made the transition. We can hold on to the memories, all right? We can, but what most people do is they hold on to them and they suffocate the memory of the person,
Yeah.
okay? There's no time limit on how a person grieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
How they will go through that.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is for the people to celebrate the people's lives
Mm-hmm.
when they make a transition.
Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing that
Mm-hmm.
I did was, people are used to wearing black to a funeral. I
Yeah.
told everybody, no,
Yeah.
you're going to wear
Sure
white.
did.
Hmm.
We're
You sure
having a
did.
party.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people looked at me like
Yes.
I had lost my
Yeah.
everlasting mind.
They did. Yeah.
I was in full on white. And people were trying, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you're not coming to this because this is a celebration. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs to wear white.
Right.
They thought I had lost my mind because, of
I
course,
love
you
that.
just, your baby just left,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, everybody needs to wear white. Thank you. This is a celebration. He is going to a place that eventually all of us going to end up going.
Yeah. That's very
Hmm.
true.
And
Yeah.
depending on your belief, you already went and you done came back anyway. Old school, we know, and what we were taught from grandparents is we come back.
Hmm.
We come back through
Hmm.
children, this sort of thing. So I would say the biggest thing is to allow the people, the ones that have made the transition, liberation. Allow them to be liberated. Don't be holding them down. If you're going to remember them, remember the light. Use the light part of what they're doing, and you move through that. It's going to help you eventually anyway, because you're going to remember the good things, and you're going to remember them in an active way, not a hold and harbor. Hold on to it where it can't breathe. That person wants to breathe. We don't realize that we be holding down their nature. They're in their next transition. You know what I mean? The other part is watering them. For instance, get a plant. Take that plant, use that plant as a portal way to service that person that did make the transition. Something that they may have liked. Take that aspect and water them. We planted a plant. My mother loved miracles. So we planted a miracle, and we planted her next to her mother. You know what I mean? You got to reinvent life. When life makes a transition, somebody makes a transition, there's another one coming in. It's old school. We used to know that, if somebody's they're making an exit, somebody else is coming back in.
Yeah.
It does take time. It does take an effort, no different than our own discipline. You have to have an effort to do that. When I hear people talking about their death, and I got to watch my mother go through that as well. With her mother, she would cry every time my grandmother's birthday would come around, and it would be painful. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm watching her go through it. I'm like, wow, she's gone, and you're still in this amount of pain. You can't harvest a person's pain, right? But what I've realized more and more that I've watched people go through it, and me dealing with it myself, is when we hold on to a person like that, like they're a possession. And then the other part is we haven't forgiven ourselves for whatever situation that we dealt with that person, because that's another big thing. Most people are holding on to that because of the relationship wasn't healed when the person made the transition. So how you treating yourself and how you're treating with that person, that comes up. That ends up becoming a purge. So if that person makes a transition and you wasn't good with yourself, and you and that person weren't good, that person's made that transition with that. So now you are in that state, and that's what people are holding on to. So the other thing is, now you have to realize you have to forgive yourself, and you have to forgive that person. So that person can be liberated, and you can be liberated too. So now you can go back to celebrating those things that y'all made it do what it do. But if you didn't have that, you're going to have to be able to cut that off. And most people, let's not even think about transition as far as in the flesh. Most of us can't make that transition or that allow that death to an old thought. We don't allow the death to an old thought. We still holding on to that old thought that we might have needed at one time when we were suffering. We still holding on to that old thought. Well, you're not suffering then. You're not suffering now. Why you still got that old thought? So if we can't do that with a thought, imagine how we can't do that with a person who's made a transition. So you got to be able to liberate your mind in that. I do stand in the crossroads. I do enter and understand that it does hurt. It does. But the depth of it is you have to move through it. And no different than you or Heiress, you're close to my heart. I have to start watering right now. So how do you avoid that situation that when a person, because we all do have to make a transition sometime. Not to say that it's not going to hurt, but what you're watering right now in that mood, in that moment, that particular thing is major. You have to be able to forgive yourself. You have to be able to forgive the person. But most of us, we not living right already with each other. So when a person make a transition, you ain't even thinking about no liberation. You just thinking about how that person either hurt you, how you hurt them, or you don't even want to think about that. So these are the things that I would say. I mean, it's a long answer, but I hear it. You can hear a person's pain. Like, really? So the relationship went this way, and now they've ascended, and now you holding them down. You not letting them be liberated. You not liberated. So now you're walking around depressed, overly depressed. It does happen. It absolutely happens.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen. Just from what I've seen. And that's where it goes from, that whole part of, okay, a physical death and a spiritual death. How now it comes into that transition where most of us don't even want to die to self.
Mm-hmm.
My point.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I kind of kept going.
And I would actually to add something.
No, beautiful.
Yeah, I would like to add something to that. Okay. All right. So during this time with the ascension of my brother, obviously I was younger. I was 3 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah, three and a half. Yeah, you guys were about 3.5. Yep.
I was very, very young. And I do remember, stories that my yaya would tell me that like I would, for example, certain mannerisms that my twin brother would do, I would end up doing it. Like I took on, or like it was a fusion. Let me put it this way, because like take on is like someone's possession. No, it was like a fusion of two spirits, basically. So a lot of things that he was known to do, I would start doing it. And I think you said eventually it started to fade away. I don't know, after a year or so or something, like just started to fade away because it was like the fusion is made already, because I definitely feel and know that exactly that part. I feel and know that my twin Yamaya is me. We're one right now, most definitely. And because I believe in the spirit realm and know it, so it's like a connection, like an antenna for both of us, me and myself, because he's in the spirit realm or wherever he is, but he's knowledgeable in that. So most definitely I do, that's my take on that regarding my experience about it. And when it comes to the holding of the passing of people and stuff, there is a particular family member that whenever I would interact with them, it was always always a subject of conversation about the passing of my brother, and it was just a heavy conversation. And I'm just like, I want to get to know you and stuff like that, and you're literally just keep on going back to the death, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's not helping me. Like, and it also feels like when people hold that, and especially when time goes, like it's been years, for example, it's like they're stuck in time. They're stuck in time. So I know you said like they're holding the person, but they're also holding themselves. Holding themselves in that time. And it's especially when you care about the individual. It's sad seeing that. But then of course I have the emotional and spiritual intelligence to not completely go there with them, but know that that's just the state that they chose to be in. But it was just kind of like every single time, and then whenever the birthday will come around, it would never be like, celebration. Be like, it's the death. Wow. I'm like, I don't.
That part.
Really, what are we doing? So I would say that's something as well. And then another thing regarding how someone deals with ascension, death of somebody. What about the other family? It's like, it's in a way unfair. Especially if the person, the other family members have moved on, and it's just like you keep on trying to bring them back. So in a way, it's a bit unfair as well. But again, we all know that everyone's on their journey in space and time, and because I've heard some stories which I take them as true because of the source. I trust the source. It seemed as if the individual is stuck in time due to, as Ye eloquently said, the relationship with my brother. There were certain aspects of it that it seemed like, it was kind of like a karmatic just punch in the face type of thing because of certain mannerisms or how he dealt with, the interaction with my brother. So it's just like, now I see maybe why this person's in that state consistently, because it's like, oh shoot, all these things I was doing, and then this happens, it's always going to be stuck with it, especially without, doing the work and the healing to actually get out and own, as Ye always said, own the bullshit.
Yes.
And proceed forward. So that's definitely what I want to say regarding that. And so most definitely.
I hope you answer that. I hope you feel you enter and understand that, because the other part of this is you got to look at it in this way. Because we're talking about death and rebirth. Okay. Again, I'm gonna speak about both sides of this parallel. We're not just talking about the physical part, we're talking about the spiritual part too. Okay. So even in that death there's life, right? Even in that death there's life, because there's a new beginning happening. There's a new beginning happening. So there's also the placement that we have to realize, what are we doing? So let's not speak about somebody making a transition, okay, in the physical, going from the physical, now they're in the spiritual. Let's talk about the people that need to have a death happen in their life. Okay. A mental death. Okay. A particular thing that is holding them back or holding them in mediocrity within their own life. Because most people live through other people too, vicariously through other people. So if they don't have that tower moment, and I'm literally here with my cards too, if they don't have that tower moment so they can put to death something that's not servicing them, they won't have a rebirth. There will be no resurrection. Let's put it that way. When I looked at that part, when I looked at the fact that people, we all have to make a transition. We have to make a transition in the physical and the spiritual. Because you'll have people that literally are in the mode of, okay, trapped in time, as Heiress said. You're trapped in time, but then you're trapped in time doing what with it?
Exactly.
You're doing what with it? The other thing that I realized, let's go back to the physical. When somebody makes the transition from the physical, is now you have to deal with the people that are around you. What are the people around you saying that also had a claim on that person? Because you could move. What I experienced was I moved into a position of peace, but the people around me were frantic, losing their mind, and then they're speaking more death. If you notice, when people make a transition, okay, physical transition, other death starts happening around them. Other deaths come. As they call it in the Bible, the devil comes to rob, steal, and kill. If one person goes out, why does all of a sudden they're frantic like everybody else now? This person's dying, this person's fighting, people have to get more aware, more in tune with themselves spiritually. Of course, back in the day when we talk about our ancestors and our grandmas, and they knew that you had to get to a point where you were celebrating life. You had to. And that's where the libations come in. And that's where the celebrating of the ancestors come in. We end up walking through our own ancestors' role. When most people say, well, the ancestors are over here, well, baby, what I teach most, because I started doing it for myself and realizing, okay, yes, I'm the ancestors, but the ancestors looking at me going, so what you gonna do with it then? Because you can also pick up the ancestor that it's not doing shit. People be the part where people need to take in. You can pick up an ancestor that wasn't doing shit, but you holding on to it. So what's that doing? There's the fact that we have to really, really own ourselves, own our totality in life and in death. And literally, you can be living in life and in death, moving around. What do they call them? The Walking Dead, that sort of thing. And can be fully functional, talking, speaking, doing everything that needs to be done from a person's natural eye. So this is where I'm glad you guys you came to the title of embodying all of it, because it's a big embodiment. It's a big embodiment. I'm my ancestor. Okay, so
please.
Which ancestor are you?
Right.
Because your ass acting up. You not acting like what ancestor? Now you tell me what ancestor it is, and then I might. Oh, okay, then that makes sense. That's how they ancestor act.
Yeah.
Right.
That part. Most of us want to boost it up and be like, "Oh yes, I'm the ancestor," but you not showing any reflection of the ancestor that you claiming to be. Like I just don't get it. So we need to really embody that fact. When we're talking about those that have made the transition in the physical, what part are we holding on to them with? What are we uplifting them with? How are we moving? How are we acting? Because with that death or that transition comes rebirth. It comes a rebirth of something. So as as our great grandmothers would say, when one person comes, that baby is coming back. Oh Lord, that's Lamar. He coming back. There he is, right there. Now watch this. Here comes birth. Here comes birth from the mouth. Here comes the birth from the mouth. So everybody that put their mouth on that new child that just came in, oh, he just like Leroy. He just like, but you're not being specific on the parts that he just like Leroy. Leroy, what was Leroy doing? How was Leroy's character? We have to be really careful because we are breathing life and death. We're renewing things oftentimes out of just a lack of wisdom. So, okay, you're going to say that's Leroy, but Leroy was a pimp.
Right.
Can you understand? We need to be a little bit more specific when we going to say something over. I was very, very careful.
Yes.
And that's just real talk. When we start speaking, when I would speak about Jeremiah, wait a minute. Okay, she just like me, then that's a little bit like her father, but hold up, let me tell you about yourself. You gotta work that out.
That helped me too. That helped me a lot.
You gotta work that out. I'm off the chain in this area. You gotta watch that, because that's a little bit in you. You need to develop your own.
Facts.
Be careful how you claim yourself over people. So in death, there can be life, because it depends on who's speaking about that death.
Yep.
It's a lot embodied in our title. It's a lot embodied there. So how is that? How is this young woman, your friend, who's in her ear right now? That's the biggest thing. Because I found with my peace that I had, other people were pissed off that I had peace, that my son had ascended. And I had peace about it.
And you're the mama. You're the mama, though. You gave birth to the child.
Because they could not understand or overstand, how can you have peace that your son has ascended? They wanted to put me away in the nut farm. So your friend needs to be able to bring herself to a center, because other people around may not have that same opinion about what she's dealing with.
Oh yeah.
You feel me? Most definitely.
Yes,
I saw somebody
yes.
put in the chat, and I was trying to read what that person said.
Who? Wait, which one? Because I can bring them up. You know, I got the tools. I can bring them up. Which one? Which one?
You have to see. I couldn't see who it was.
Was it because?
Could you see it? Could you see Pocahontas or no?
No, I can't see any.
It's in the chat. I know that for sure. Was it this one here? Which one was it?
What does he say?
Eric is in the chat.
Hama consistently calling their name right after transition.
Was it this one
holds them in limbo? Yes.
Yes, that one. Fear there was something wrong, so don't empower you. There was some good comments.
Most definitely holding them in limbo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Another one too, but yeah, I see them in the chat.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm. So what was your other question, baby? Because I did kind of go, yeah. I was just kind of letting it roll.
Well, what you said about celebrating a life instead of just always grieving and crying every year about, the transition. I love that you said that, because that was my friend. She's my sister. Spiritually, she's my sister. Her whole thing, they were blue and white to the service, so she wasn't in that mode of black and just death or anything. She knew to come to celebrate, and I knew to come to celebrate too. Even though I cried, I still was like there to celebrate his life. So I believe that was my role that I played, to be there, and I believe he wanted me to be there to celebrate him, and just to tell a lot of good things about him that I knew, because I just met him like last year, but he impacted my life a lot. And through his transition, I went through my own rebirth. Like, he showed me, like, I need to change some stuff about myself. So I would say,
tell us something about that. Yeah.
Well, just letting go of certain things that I was doing that weren't leading me anywhere, hanging around people that weren't helping me elevate. So I cut off a lot of people. I changed a lot of my ways. Like, I stopped smoking. I've been smoking for 10 years.
I was going to say, wait a minute, you ain't that old.
Okay. About 20 years.
Not in the
I'm like, life, he just let me see, like, life is short, and I need to live it. I need to live it up, and in the best way possible, and my best potential, and my divinity, and just, don't waste time being all worried about what's going on, what's happening, and just be joyful in the moment, because you just never know.
Be intentional.
Intentional, yes,
with
that
your
part.
Life. That over time, I've realized more and more. I used to do it, and people used to call that cunning. Why are you being cunning? You always plan it. No, actually, I'm quite intentional with my life, and it pays off to be that way. So I mean, if anything, I can say, because I know we've been talking, and we can definitely talk. There's a couple things I would say that people should definitely try to do for themselves, is that they allow themselves to know who they are first and foremost, to really like tap into yourself, do your journaling, get out in nature like you're doing, do your own rebirths. So die to self in certain areas, things that haven't been servicing you, things that don't work with the path, the very thing that you said. And you're absolutely right. I would say I went through a rebirth with my son making that transition. There was a rebirth. There was an open light, a window to areas that I had closed off in my own childhood. But then becoming a mother, because that was another portal too. Becoming a mother opened up a new rebirth. That was a birthing. Okay. I birthed myself into being a mother. So in many aspects of our lives, there are deaths and rebirths in everything, whether you're talking about the physical or the spiritual, mental side. It is our discipline for ourselves, our owning ourselves, our totality, as you guys know that I always say, owning your own bullshit. Being able to allow people to go through what they need to go through, but then also being able to give them the hard truth. Tell them the damn truth. Okay, you need to like get off of this right now, because you are just holding that person down in limbo. As one of the people in the comment, I think, was that Hammond? Who was that?
It was Fasola, no?
Yeah,
1 second.
probably. But this is the whole point of being able to move through and not let people be in your ear, because other people's grief is a whole nother thing. You got to be able to deal with your own, because taking on other people's grief will not allow you to grieve and won't allow liberation. And in the transition, in any way, whether it be mental or physical, we need to realize that if we're taking on ownership of other people, even our ancestors, who were they? Who were they? What was the characteristics?
Yeah.
How were they operating? How were they acting? My final thought on that too is learn to do your own spiritual work. The biggest thing that I started to implement in my own life and suggest to others and teach others is start to pour out libations to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Burn ancestral money on behalf of yourself. If you truly are your ancestors, then you enter and understand what they went through and what they needed to release. That was the biggest thing I learned, even with my mother just walking around before she made a transition. Oh no, I don't need to take on that. I need to leave that alone. This part. And when you do those things for yourself, you can also do that on behalf of people who have made the transition. Give them liberation in that transition. So if you know that your uncle, your aunt, whoever had a problem with drinking, had a problem with this, write that down. Send them something that will help relieve them in that other realm. And then don't call that forth over somebody that's walking around in this realm. Don't place that over that baby. Don't place that over that. No. Unless that's what they're doing. If that's what they're doing, then now you shouldn't be speaking the same thing, because they're speaking death. You should identify that and reroute that and speak life. You feel me? That's what it is. That's how it needs to operate. That's how we need to operate. So I do appreciate you guys coming up with this and the death, the rebirth, and we send out high vibrations to her and all those that are going through a physical as well as a mental death and rebirth. I had to wrap it up with that. I know we all have to go. If Inez is still there.
Yes, let's just say she had to take a call. So.
Yes, okay, we leave her.
She got a busy schedule, so.
Yes, listen, I appreciate you, baby. I miss you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And for those that were in the chat and commenting, I so appreciate it. This was definitely one that we could talk about and bring more people to the table, because it's something that's serious, that seriously most of us, and a lot of deaths have been happening and people have been dealing with it in many ways. Again, I just suggest that you first forgive yourself, forgive everything that might have taken place in the relationship with whomever has made a transition. You feel me?
Yeah.
And in that, allow them to be liberated. You know what I mean? Allow them to be liberated without holding them down. Even holding on to their clothes, the different things that they have. Take that special thing, and yes, you can hold that. You can celebrate it. Don't be a hoarder of the person's spirit. You feel me? Don't be a hoarder of their spirit. Allow them to live. Allow them to live through you living your life. That's what I would say overall. Yeah. And so in life and in death, in rebirth, we go through that, whether we're walking on the two legs or we're ascended in another dimension of time and space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is Empress Yamaja and my babies. My babies was on land.
Yes, exactly. I will act as a Pocahontas for this time, pass the message. She says, thank you very much for attending this live. We appreciate it. And sorry I had to drop out very quickly. However, she loves you all, and she definitely will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay. And for myself, thank you so much for watching. And I really did like this conversation. Not like it, I loved it. And it is, as you said, is something that can really continue. And a point, and even you said it, and I was already thinking about it. Everything reflects each other. The way you handle things spiritually and the way you handle things physically, they relate. They relate a little bit. As you said, how you're doing, what does this say?
A Four of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
A Four of Cups, honey. That's the light. The other one was the changing of the guards, which is good. And the swords. When we first started speaking, and we were talking, I was mentioning that people will hold a person down. You got the swords. Both sides of life. Most definitely, both sides of life. Yes, it was a good one. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to doing this again. We have to open up the platform where we can definitely see and interact with the people that are speaking.
Yeah. I definitely was interacting on my side and seeing everybody and their comments, which is really, really great.
Thank you.
So it's good. So I'm doing the back end. So if anyone during the live will see me like look down or whatever, it's because I'm managing multiple things at one time, amores. Okay.
Do it, baby. Do it. I love you, beautiful.
Yes.
To all of the viewing audience. We look forward to seeing you guys again very soon. This is Speaking with the Sage, even though she's going to say it again.
Yes, exactly.
With my baby. My baby. Y'all see her, right? Y'all see her.
All righty then. Give many thanks. Giving many thanks to people that was on the live and people in the future that will see this live in the future. Give thanks, and I trust all the messages in here is going to help elevate and confirm and just really impact your life in a positive way, because that's all that we're about at FGTV by NDB. We do spiritual, we do health, physical, beauty, self-care, the whole nine. It's a lifestyle channel. So lifestyle does include spiritual.
Absolutely.
It does include holistic wellness. It doesn't.
Can't have one without the other.
Exactly. And ultimately, having all of that impacts, and you actually really do have a luxurious life. It's not just, beautiful things. No, you have it internally, and that internally reflects the outer, and you're just moving in an absolute positive and beautiful light. Asheo, bells in the chat. Bells in the chat.
Bells in the chat.
So most definitely, thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Ashe, Asheo, Asheo.
I'm gonna get my cards.